everyone, welcome to the Antiquity Atlas final capstone video. I'm going to be starting our presentation and showing you what we've made so far and pitching our idea of the tour guide through history in your pocket to everyone. So to start off, let's talk about what Antiquity Atlas actually is. So Antiquity Atlas is a mobile app for exploring historical sites around you using a dynamic map that you can move and find pinpoints on. With these pinpoints, you can discover, learn, and navigate to meaningful locations. Each pinpoint is a user-created or app-created historical site that has descriptions and posts and likes, so you can discover new history around you in the area around you. And this app is designed for travelers, locals, historians, and students. So it can cover a pretty diverse population of people who want to use this. It can be for anyone who wants to learn about history around them, or anyone who wants to find something to do around them, or anyone who just wants to learn about something in general and wants something to do.
All right, let's meet the team. I'll start off with myself. My name's Andrew. I helped with the front end. I designed a lot of the UI and the user experience. I also designed the map system and how it works with the filters.
I'm Pat. I covered the back end as well as the back end infrastructure. I'm a computer science major from Salt Lake City.
My name is Rowan. I am graduating with a bachelor's degree in software development. I helped work on the front end of this app, so I worked with the Google Maps API to work with routing, geofencing, geolocation, and location services.
Hi, I'm Jack. On this project, my main priority was API design as well as implementing the API routes into the front-end UI. And I also worked a lot on some of the interaction features. Some of those include likes, comments, and recommendations and other things of those sorts.
The question is, why would we build an app like this? Well, I had some personal experiences of why I had the inspiration to make this app, is that people pass by a lot of important historical sites every day, walk through and by many of these buildings without knowing the historical context of where these buildings come from. For example, you have the Frost's Tavern in New York City. It was one of the oldest surviving structures from the founding of the United States. It is also where George Washington bid farewell to his officers at the end of the American Revolution. So it holds a lot of significance. And with it kind of looking like kind of a normal building in downtown New York City, you wouldn't know about this without maybe going inside or talking with tour guides. New Orleans, this is the Lalaurie Mansion. It was built in 1831. It has some crazy stories. It was home to one of the most infamous slave owners in New Orleans. And then it was also owned by Nicolas Cage. And it's one of the most infamous haunted ghost sites in New Orleans in the French Quarter. There's a lot of history to it, and even though it just kind of looks like a normal building that you would walk by every day. So that's kind of the main reason why we built this app. And there's a lot of other reasons as well. There's not a lot of apps that kind of give accurate and local historical context. Google Maps has some functionalities with these types of things, but they don't have like the same information kind of that we gather, and like also the use of AI. And then a lot of tourism apps are cluttered, or they don't have a lot of complete features. And then it just gives students and travelers an easy way to explore the world that's around them.
So understanding our users, we have some examples here of traveler, student, or social user. There can be a lot more examples here, such as just someone in their own hometown who wants to find new historic sites around them. But for these examples, you see maybe a traveler wants to discover local history so they can explore their new city they're in more meaningfully. Or a student who just wants some quick facts that they can learn, maybe to apply to a class or something like that. So what our app does specifically, it shows historical sites on the interactive map. And when you click on those, it'll give you detailed facts, images, tags, time periods, and posts about that site. It will calculate routes to sites through your preferred map app on your device. So that's super useful for just mapping from wherever you are right to the site you want to see. It also lets users create new sites. So this will, if there's a site you visit that's not on our app, you can easily implement that, put that site in for other people to go see. We also allow social features like friends and bucket lists. And then lastly, you can build custom tour routes so that when you go to a new city, you can map out all the historical sites that you want to see in that city, and you have a nice, easy, free tour route. You can go visit and appreciate all the sites that you want to see. And with that, I'll pass it off to Andrew for the demo.
All right, we'll go into demo time now. So this is our login screen. You log in here and it'll take you through our Keycloak login. From there, it takes you to our main page where it displays all the map markers that display the information of what these different sites are. See right here, we got yellow, purple, brown, and you can find that information in our filters area. And then I can also filter by time periods as well. From here, we're also able to filter based on these markers. So let's say if I'm in downtown Salt Lake and I just want to see religious sites, we can see that all right here. They're all yellow. And let's say if I want to click on one, this right here is pretty much our main bread and butter for the app. As you can see, we got a list of options that we can choose from in a way that we can interact with these sites. For example, if I want to get directions to this site, I can go to Google Maps or iOS Maps, and it will show me how to get there. I can also show it in an app, or I can use our simple kind of setup to do that. And using our directions for Google Maps or iOS, it'll take me there and it'll give me the directions on how to get to that area. We can also use our built-in Atlas AI chatbot, and it will let us know more about the site, more information. We can also ask it questions. So you can see that it'll keep going into more information so you can have a conversation with the AI. We can also add it to our bucket list. If I click here, it'll add it to a bucket list where I can access it here in this top page where I can click bucket list. And it'll give me a list of places that I myself want to visit. You can see Salt Lake Tabernacle down here, and it allows me to kind of keep track of the stuff that I want to visit when I go visit an area. So let's say if I want to take a tour of downtown Salt Lake and see a bunch of really cool sites. So you can see we got a list of these different sites. We have the Salt Lake Tabernacle, and I can say, hey, I want to take a tour of all these sites. I want to get the directions for it. I'll say open in Google Maps, and it'll kind of mark each one of those and tell me how to get there in the best ways. Then I can also edit the tour details, delete the tour. Then I can also ask AI to kind of give me a generalization of what I'm going to be learning with this tour. And then I can also change the order of what I want with this as well. And then you can add them directly from the site. And then you can also edit the location, edit the screen for it, and then you can also add tags to it. Then you can add a post. And you can also add a photo. And you can see my post right there, and then I can also like that. And then you can also create sites. For example, let's create here. Then I can add a photo to it as well. Then I can save the site. Then I can see the site that I created. And as you can see, we have created the site for it. I can also add tags to this site. Then we have the Discover page where you can see posts I created. Also other posts people have created. As you can see, we also have our friends page. We can see our friends here, and if you click on them, it'll take you to a page that you can see sites that they've created and see what they've posted. Then you can also see your outgoing friends. Let's say if I don't want to be his friend, it'll update automatically, and then I can also add him as a friend. Pretty much the gist of our app. We're excited to demonstrate it on demo day, and please come check us out. The main technologies used for our application were, for the front end, it was Flutter in the language of Dart, and then a lot of our routing was used with GraphQL and FastAPI. The database was built with Postgres SQL and the Neo4j. Our authorization backend was also created with Keycloak OAuth 2. That's kind of our third-party way of authorization. And then for storage, we used AWS. And then with the way our maps functions, we used the Google Maps SDK for that functionality.
The way data flows in our app is pretty simple and standard for a client-server relationship app. So it starts with the Flutter application, which sends out the API requests as well as the authorization request. So first it will have to do an authorization, which means it goes to our auth.Antiquity Atlas server to receive a JWT, which it can then send subsequent API requests to our API service, which sits behind automatic load balancers. Once the API service gets a verified token, it checks with the auth server internally to make sure that the token's verified, and it then grabs the data that is requested in the API call.